Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. They don't cost you anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Seven of Pentacles. You're somebody who has discipline. Yeah. You're somebody who can kind of see you can see the light in the darkness. You can be the light in the darkness. I think you're somebody who is committed to the work, even when it's difficult. You're somebody that people rely on. People know that you're not just going to run away when things get difficult. That you're not going to quit at the first sign of trouble. This is the Seven of Pentacles. This is the failure. This is the little f failure, right? People know that when you land face down on the mat, you're going to get back up again. And I think this is letting other people know that you're not a pushover, that you're not somebody who's going to quit and give up. They're not going to turn their back and start laughing and say, I won, because no, you're the one that's getting up, on the other side of the ring while somebody else has their back turned, So people know not to underestimate you. I feel like you're also somebody who will always be showing up for someone. Like if this is a relationship, this is your job, this is your work, your financial life, your health, if this is your creative stuff, your spiritual practice, you don't quit when it gets difficult. You don't quit when you fall down and you stumble and you get your pants dirty. You get up again. And people value this in you. It makes you a really valuable part of the team, a part of the world, right? Part of the universe. We need people like you. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. This is very, very good energy. Got a Four of Swords. You got a Knight of Swords. You got a Four of Cups. You got a Ten of Swords. And, oh yes, the doorway. The doorway to the future. Okay? All your hard work's paying off. Okay? You're about to get out of the birdcage. Okay? You're about to transcend. This is a doorway right in front of you that is opening for you. This opportunity is materializing. You're going to go through that doorway. This door is opening for you. Here we have the Six. Look at that. Going from a Seven to a Six of Pentacles. You know what that means, right? Going from a failure to a success. Going from the little f failures to the big S success. Yeah. And we have another Swords card, a Queen of Swords. Another Four of Pentacles. It's all really about stability in your life right now. We're really trying to maintain like these core thoughts, feelings, and habits, And of course, you got your Aries power card at the end. That's the Knight of Wands. And gosh, I really never get tired of ringing that bell, It's always so much fun. Your superpower card at the end, right? So I feel like this is a confirmation that you are doing everything right, okay? And this doorway is appearing. And on the other side of the doorways is your success, but it's also like your true self, that you're not giving up on yourself, right? Your superpower here is your ability to leap back into action. You've fallen down, you're leaping back into action without much of a second thought about it. Okay. I feel like you have an intense daily practice, right? With the body, the heart, the mind, everything in alignment. 4, 4, 4. It's kind of a very root. It's very stable. It's very a solid base, very foundational. I feel like you're somebody who enjoys a solid routine. Like you have almost a schedule. That's kind of like I wake up at this time, I do these activities, and it's not so rigid and structured that it's like, oh, if I'm a minute late, I'm going to freak out. No, it's just kind of like you wake up in the morning, you do certain practices. You know, you have these foundational things. I think you do a lot of breath work. You do a lot of probably meditation, maybe even a lot of prayer. And I think that you have a very healthy routine in your life that is geared toward cultivating love and gratitude, cultivating stillness and kind of an equilibrium in your mind. That's also geared toward creating a very healthy body. You have probably a little exercise routine, nothing crazy, but it's there. It's enough to kind of keep things, keeping things maintained in the optimal level. Okay, so the 4, 4, and 4 are the foundations, the baseline, the structure, the support structure, the platform off of which you're going to leap into your future. You know, and this is extraordinary. And I feel like these routines or these rituals, really, I think they're more ritual than routine. There's a difference. Routine is kind of just like same thing every day. The alarm clock goes off and I just do the thing. But a ritual is like there's reverence there. A ritual means that this is a sacred practice, you know? It's turning something from just mechanical habit to like, this is a meaningful spiritual experience when I'm, you know, whatever, doing my morning stretches or making that first cup of tea or something, right? Today I've got corn silk tea and it's still lukewarm, so I'm doing well today. Let's select the mystery card. Yeah, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here with tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob, happy little card. We're not going to look at that one till the end. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments as usual. Okay, let's practice our intuition. Come on, it's good. It's good for us, you know. I think we have to make that part of our spiritual practice too. The only thing we're missing is the 4 of Wands, right? Maybe the mystery card. Somehow I keep getting this an energy of Virgo in your reading right now. It keeps coming to me and I don't know why. So I want to put that out there in case somebody is dealing with a Virgo or there's a Virgo issue for some of you, or if that's going to be a point of connection and resonance for you. Okay, the Virgo energy is very prominent right now, and I'm not sure why yet. But let's look around the room to check out our major arcana energy. It's all about the doorway. This is a divine doorway of fire. This is a life-changing thing, and really it feels like the routines of life, the rituals, let's call them what they are, the rituals of life. It's the kind of, it is a routine. It's a daily repetition of something that's like putting a drop in the bucket every day, another drop in the bucket. Every day, another drop in the bucket. The thing is, it's building up. It's building up force and fire, and it's leading to this life-changing moment. This doorway that you get to walk through, and it's kind of like, it's this transcendence. It's kind of like we've been doing the same routine thing over and over and over and over and over again. And almost to the point where it's just like, well, I guess this is my life now. But we don't realize that all of that work is foundational. It's leading to the breakthrough. It's leading to this door being opened, and then your life is completely changed. It is, it's a gold mine. It is a complete shift. The old universe is crushed, and a new one is being built. Okay, and you're choosing to step through this doorway. So the idea here is that we keep persisting at something, even with that 7 of Pentacles. We keep going. We just say, okay, 7 of Pentacles. It doesn't mean I'm giving up on the garden. You've planted the seeds. The garden hasn't grown yet. Okay, I'm going to keep doing the work. I'm going to keep repeating the process. I'm going to make it a ritual. I'm going to keep doing it over and over and over again. Things are being built up over time. It's like you start a new health or wellness or fitness routine, right? We don't expect overnight results. Like I just started drinking the corn silk tea, right? It's supposed to be good for bladder and kidneys and all this kind of stuff, right? And you don't expect it to work overnight. It's a subtle force that, over the course of time is going to lead to tremendous changes. I don't know if the corn silk tea will or not, but it's the idea with the 7 of Pentacles and this than the Four of Swords. So this is our one divine doorway. Let's do a divine doorway card. Divine doorway oracle card. The passages, spiritual signs of inclination. You're walking through passages of your transformation. Well, yeah, these rituals that you're doing are transforming you in subtle ways that will bring you to the threshold, bring you to this doorway on the other side of which is your superpower, your success, and your superpower, and I think also financial stability. Okay? I feel like you're a very humorous person. I feel like you use humor as kind of a magical defense against probably stress. Sometimes being silly, being fun, making a joke, clowning around a little bit is a way for us to manage stress, and that's what we have right here in the middle. But let's quickly. We have fire. Just want to show you the elements here. We've got fire. We've got a little bit of water over here. We've got a lot of air, and air. And of course we have earth, and earth. Okay. Just want to show you the kind of mixture of elements. Not a lot of fire, not a lot of water really. Okay. It's mostly the air. And so I feel like you're dealing with a lot of stress reduction, dealing with a lot of thoughts and a lot of planning and probably a lot of interpersonal stuff. You're probably dealing with a lot of people, a lot of phone calls, a lot of letters to write or emails to send or texts to send or whatever we do. But with the Four of Swords, this is like asking, how do we come down from a stressful situation? And I feel like it's a practice of mindfulness, it's a practice of breathing, it's a practice of meditation that allows us to continue to do the good work on this Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is like you're digging in the dirt and you're looking for the gold, you're looking for the treasure, and you keep digging. And day after day we're digging, right? We haven't found the gold yet. The Four of Swords is how we mentally deal with that. Because the more we dig with no gold, the more stressed out we're going to feel. The more we're going to think like, gosh, I don't know, my mind is frazzled. I don't know if I should be doing this. Is this my path? I don't know if this is right. Should I persist? Because the Seven of Pentacles, yeah, it is a little F failure. It would be a big F failure if we sort of gave up. But you have a discipline, right? So you're continuing to do the work. And I think there's a certainty in you that says, if I keep doing it, it's going to pay off. If I keep focusing on this, if I have the discipline and I have the kind of work ethic, it's going to pay off at some point. And it's the iron routine over the course of time that leads to the biggest changes. Okay. The Four of Swords is talking about your stress reduction practices. What tools do you use to kind of chill out and not get so stressed out about life? About everything in life, the flat tire, right? The news on TV, the things that your friends are doing or things you see on the internet or whatever, right? Stressed out about the bills, stressed out about the debt. I feel like you're going through a financial thing right now. And we could get really stressed out about our bills and about our debts and things, or we can just keep doing the work. We can make the plan, we can stick to the plan, we can keep doing what we got to do. And the day will come where, with this Eon card, this divine doorway, suddenly we'll be debt-free, right? I'm using that as an illustration, but I feel like there is something financial happening for you. It's a bit of a stressful topic. By doing the thing we need to do every day and not worrying about it, we have the plan in place. It's just a matter of, we've got the budget. We've got a timeline for getting out of debt. Let's just stick to it. We've got to have the discipline. We've got to have the fortification, the fortification, the ritual of it, right? Make it a sacred thing that when we're, doing our thing, whatever it is, saving money, paying bills, whatever it could be, clipping coupons, all of these things. And that day will come where we'll be free of that. Okay? If we stick to the plan, then the plan will work. There will, of course, be unexpected things that happen and continue. And that's where your patience is really being tested, right? When those unexpected things happen. Okay, but we do need the discipline. We do need the ritual and the routine and the structure of something. And I think that this really, like the Four of Swords, I feel like you use humor as a way to kind of deal with the stressful thing. It's like you like to whistle while you work, or you like to shoot the breeze, or talk smack, or laugh and clown around a little bit while you're doing the stressful stuff in life. It makes it a little bit easier to do, right? And now beneath the surface, you've got the Knight of Swords. I think what we really want is to see the other side of this. We're kind of we're ready to make plans for what we do once we find the gold. Yeah, because I feel like all of the knights are looking at the future. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, in theory, is looking at the Ten of Wands. The Knight of Swords is looking at the Ten of Swords. So you're looking at the end. You're looking at the final stage of the plan where we break free of this bird cage. Okay, looking at the future. And I think that's something that we tend to do. I don't know if that's kind of helping you, or if that's something that we might want to not do as much. Because sometimes we're looking at the end goal. We're looking at that sort of kind of the long-term goal, right? How we think this is going to go, and theoretically, logically, if things go according to plan, that's going to be the result, right? Whatever this is. Sometimes it makes it easier for us to keep going in the moment and doing the work, doing the routine. We're kind of step by step here with the Four. Step by step, we're getting to the goal. But sometimes thinking too much about the goal makes us want to kind of cut corners, makes us want to hurry up. You know, that we start getting more anxiety because we keep thinking about that goal and how it feels so far away. And so we have all this debt, and it's like, well, every day I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh God, you know, I'm not moving. I'm not making any progress at all, right? And again, I'm just using the debt as the example. I think we all have a little bit of debt anyway. But to be free of that burden, I think, is the goal, right? Whatever the plans are in your life right now. Well, again, it could be physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative. It could be about your health, your wealth, your fitness, your finances. It could be about your relationships. It could be about your job, your career, this project you're working on. We realize that it's kind of a long-term, step-by-step thing. We've broken our long-term goal down into daily kind of actionable rituals, okay? And there is that sacredness about them that is very sustaining. But with the Knight of Wands, we have to be aware of how much we're living in the future and how that might be stressing us out a little bit, okay? So maybe one thing that we need for this Four of Swords is to, well, just maybe focus on the present and not look at the things so much. Because if every night we're sort of looking at all the bills and we're looking at all the credit card debts or whatever, and we're looking over the budget every single night, we might be creating undue tension and anxiety in our lives, right? Not much is going to change. It's like you get on the scale every day and weigh yourself, or you look in the mirror and you flex your muscles every day, and like nothing really changes, and we start to get disheartened, or we start to get disappointed or disillusioned or anxious. And so it might be, well, let's just, rein that in a little bit. Let's do it once a week. Maybe once a month we'll check in with things, whatever you feel is appropriate. Make that a ritual too, instead of being kind of unconsciously always looking at it. Before we know it, oh, there I am, like looking at the credit card bill again. I don't know why I keep doing that. So that's something we need to consider, right? The Four of Cups in the background position, the previous energy or the recent past, okay? This is a card of luxury. Yeah. This is a card of indulging in things that are kind of fleeting. We think of luxury. It's things that don't really bring that much value to our lives, but they feel good, right? Sometimes this is the card that says we had to kind of get out of the storm, pull into the safe harbor for now. We have to fix the sails, repair the boat before we sail off to our adventure, okay? I feel like that's kind of where we are now, where we realize that, okay, things needed to change. The way we were doing things before, the way I was sailing the boat before, got into a storm, things got kind of bad. Now I'm out of that, and I need to stay here and do this work of reconsolidation or healing. So in that financial sense, now I'm not a financial advisor, obviously. So this isn't that kind of reading, but if we're using that as our example, our theoretical example, it could be the Four of Cups was just kind of spending money and living life, any old way that I wanted to. Kind of, I was indulging in things. I like luxury. I like nice things. I like expensive food and clothes and things. And then we kind of realized that, okay, I can't live that way anymore. So I'm kind of tightening the belt, buckling down a little bit, and getting into the routine, the ritual, the habit of this plan, creating the plan. And that's how we're going to dig ourselves out of the hole, or that's how we're going to find the gold by, the digging, the Seven of Pentacles here. So that would be the equivalent of the ships out there in the storm finally sort of limps into the harbor and anchors somewhere and says, okay, now it's time to just plug the holes in the boat and fix the sails, sew the sails back together and swab the deck and all that kind of thing. Okay, before we then can transcend and get back out to our adventure in that new way. This could be healing. This could be physical healing. This could be a spiritual healing. This could be, again, kind of the financial stuff. Okay, this could be an emotional healing. This could be the idea that, hey, you know what, I need to spend some time just kind of digging myself out of this hole, establishing the good habits, the good routines, establishing the rituals of my life before I'm ready to go through the doorway and build the future. It's kind of like the fours here. As stable as they look, the fours of the tarot are always a reminder of impermanence. And I think that is very important for you to remember right now. The phase of life that you're in, this is temporary. Maybe this is I'm living more frugally, I'm cutting coupons, I'm cutting corners, I'm trying to just go through these rituals and these routines. I just keep digging away at something, but this isn't going to be how life is forever. Okay? The fours always imply the five. Change is coming, and how we bring about significant change in our life is a little bit at a time. Okay? So this is not a permanent state for you. This is something that we have to do right now to dig ourselves out, to heal, to find the gold, or whatever whatever metaphor you want to use, it doesn't matter. But this is not the permanent, sort of routine. Okay? And I think that's important that we keep that in mind as well, because the Ten of Swords up top here is kind of looming, and it almost is there's part of you that's kind of saying well, what's the point? It's kind of saying it's pointless. And I think that we can do this in the financial world, our physical health. We can do this in our emotional life, our spiritual life, where we keep doing something. I used to meditate every single day. I still try to as often as I can. I want it to be part of my practice, my ritual. But there was a point where I was meditating every day, twice a day. And I was going through that routine, that iron routine, day after day after day, and it started to become mechanical. And there was a point where I just felt what's the point? I'm not, nothing's changing. We don't notice the changes. Maybe they're just so subtle. They're so kind of long-term. It's a drop in the bucket every day, but I was just you put a drop in the bucket, and it doesn't look like there's any more water in the bucket. It looks like the same old bucket, And so we start to feel what's the point of continuing on like this? We're trying to pay off our debts or something, and it's just a little bit here and there, slowly, and there's part of us that says it's just pointless. And we consider just waving the white flag and just giving up, throwing in the towel, and quitting. Okay, and we need to not do that. Okay, so we have to be very careful with that Ten of Swords up there. Okay, we need to realize that there is a way out of this, that if we continue on this way, even if in the moment it doesn't feel like it's doing anything, it is doing something. It is doing something. Okay? And that's the point there with the point is that it is through the drops in the bucket that the great powers are built up. Okay, kind of, how do you eat the elephant? Well, it's, kind of one bite at a time. kind of deal. Yeah. What it's leading to is the transformation, the complete transformation of your life, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or creatively, or all of the above. The drops in the bucket are leading you like a step by step. It's like the journey of 1,000 miles, right? One step at a time. And eventually we get to that threshold where we realize that, okay, this is the transformation. It's here. Yeah, this is that divine doorway. And well, this is coming, and this is in the very near future. Okay, so you're a lot closer than you think. And on the other side of that is, of course, our Six of Pentacles. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. On the other side of the doorway, this is the central card in the reading. It's the axis mundi, right? It's the center of the world. It is the axle of the wheel, right? It's the cube in the circle. This is the very center of the tarot table today. This is the doorway. This takes us from here to here, from here to here. It's just the transition. That's why we're not spending a lot of time on this card. But this isn't really, this is a decision that we're making to go through this doorway. And basically it says, I'm not going back there again. I've learned my lesson. I'm not doing that again. You know, that we're sailing off to adventure now again, but we realize that we're not going to drive into the storms. We're going to avoid the storms as much as possible. In other words, not going back to my old habits, my old lifestyle, or the things that I did before that kind of got me in this position to begin with. Okay. So this is kind of no turning back once we go through this, and it's saying this is a transformation. This is like a change that is going to stick. Okay. The Six of Pentacles is the feeling like we are a success. See, it may be that right now you're kind of starting to feel, especially with these two cards, starting to feel like you are the failure, right? That we have, for instance, this mountain of debt, and we just think that must mean that I'm like a mountain of debt. I'm worthless, right? We start to judge ourselves and we start to devalue ourselves because of the situation we're in. And that's why this is the central card over here. This is your general energy card on this side, and it's saying now I feel like a success. Okay, well, we have to be careful with that because then we're relying too much upon these external circumstances to give us our sense of value. When my bank account is in the black, I feel good. I feel like I'm worth something. I feel like I'm contributing to society, that I'm bringing something to the table, that I'm worthy of being here. You know, that my existence is valued, right? And then when our bank account goes into the red, we start to think, I'm a failure, I don't deserve to be here, I'm not contributing anything, and I'm just a drain, and blah, blah, blah. We got to be very careful with that. Okay? So that's why I feel like we kind of need more water in the reading. I hope the mystery card is going to be a Six of Cups. But it's okay to feel like a success anyway, right? Because you are. And it's good to feel proud of what you've accomplished. It's good to feel as if your steady rituals over the course of time have led to a distinct transformation and a big time change in your life. And it's good to feel good about that. You know? So you deserve to feel proud. You deserve to feel like a success. But maintain your perspective. Okay? We got the Queen of Swords in the position of the environment. This is taking the bird's eye view. And I think that this is you kind of realizing in your environment, in your relationships and so forth, that this was, this was worth the effort. That the transformation, the success that you have now, the results of all of this work justify what you had to go through to kind of get it done. Okay. For some reason, I feel like the month of December is very significant to you. And I don't know what it is in December that you have something going on in December. Yeah. Anyway, this is the objective assessment of our lives. We're looking at the past, the present, and the future. And maybe we're trying to understand the past so that we don't repeat things in the future. We're gaining in understanding, and we're able to translate that into a functional understanding, a functional wisdom that says, okay, I'm very aware of what I've been through, and I've kind of learned those lessons. I've distilled those lessons into little kernels of wisdom that are going to help me in the future. Okay. We could be talking romance, we could be talking friends, family relationships, interpersonal stuff. I think is a important thing for you right now. Yeah, we don't want to necessarily repeat the same kind of things that got us into trouble in the past, whatever they may be, right? And I think that kind of applies to all of us, right? We got to learn from our mistakes in a way, so that we don't make them again. Okay, because we're trying to see the bigger picture of our lives here. We're trying to see literally like past, present, and future, and how it all relates. And we're kind of looking at our past to understand more about where we want to go. You know, we've got the knights here looking into the future. Well, this is the queen that's looking now into the past. So this feeling of success that we have is going to prompt some retrospective analysis. Okay, that we're going to look back over the whole landscape of what we've been through, you know, and I think it's giving us a interesting perspective on life. It's making us more. I feel like it's empowering us more in terms of our relationships and the choices that we make and the direction that we take our lives. Okay, you got your Four of Pentacles in the position of the obstacle, and to me that's like a financial stability. Or it's a foundational physical energy, whether it's health or wealth, fitness or finances. I feel like the concern is that the worry, really, or the fear is that we won't have that sort of baseline, that we'll never get back to a solid state. Okay? You're trying to keep your heart in it, you're trying to keep your mind in it in this ritual, but it's getting more difficult to perhaps see the physical results of something. Well, that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. Because the heart and the mind, the air and the water move much, much faster than the earth. The earth is the slowest of the elements. This is the sun in Capricorn. It's kind of like saying, I'm climbing this mountain, and in my mind, I'm already at the top. In my heart, I already want to be at the top. But I'm only like in the middle. And it's just, each step, like we can do something. I can lift 1,000 pounds, 1,000 repetitions in my mind. But it's going to take my body a lot longer to get there. You know, we have to be patient with ourselves, with our physical body. We need to get in touch with our physical bodies and try to slow our mind down, because the mind and the heart are spinning much faster, vibrating much faster than the physical reality. Our physical bodies are spinning much slower. And so sometimes it's a matter of bringing our thoughts and feelings down into a calmness, into a stillness. And I think that's what you do. That's why you have your practices. Your mindfulness practices, right? What do? They help to bring our mind down to a slower vibration so we can be in the vibration with our bodies, that we can harmonize, you know, with the physical realm, because we can't ask the body to go faster. I mean, it will. We train it to go faster, but it takes time. But we really need to bring the heart and mind down so that we can resonate at that same kind of level as the body. And that's how we get in touch with our body. And we listen to our body. We create stillness in our mind where we can feel our feelings. And we can get in touch. It's that silent arena of our soul where we can feel the body. What is your body telling you? Right now I got some back pain. Yeah. Right now we got some back pain going on. And I think it's kind of going down into the legs a little bit. Yeah. And we were able to get in touch with physical sensations, physical impressions, the signals coming from inside of us, whether mental, emotional, or physical. This card's also the financial platform, right? I feel that this success is giving you a launch pad from which your true self is going to spring into anything, jumping headfirst into whatever is coming next for you. Okay? So it's kind of like the boat is getting ready to sail off to adventure again. This is a period of preparation. In other words, it feels like we're kind of, for now, there's this phase of life, we're digging ourselves out of the hole. Once we get out of the hole, we're going to have enough stability that we can leap that way. We can leap into whatever adventure is ours. Okay? And that's why it's important to know that this is temporary. Because I don't want us to be digging the hole forever. Eventually, we're going to strike the gold, and that gold is going to be what really is going to fuel the next phase of our lives, right? So let's say we're trying to get out of debt. Okay, this is the next few months, next couple of years, whatever it is, we're going to be very steady as she goes, and we're going to get out of it. We're going to dig ourselves out of that hole. And once we're out of that hole, we're going to be in the black. We're going to be like in the positive numbers. And, we're going to see the little line go up and to the right. Yeah. And from there, the adventure really begins. Now we can sort of set off into the next phase of things. Yeah. I like this card. I think this is really a perfect, and this is your superpower card. So this is like, it's not easy for you to have the patience to sort of steady as she goes, do the routine and just make all of this a ritual. What we want to do is I want to hurry up and I don't know, it's like I want to hurry up and buy the house, or I want to hurry up and start the business or take that vacation. Well, yeah, but we got to do first things first. First, we got to get out of debt. And once we do that, then we can have this adventure, whatever this is. It's not easy for an Aries to wait, But I think you're doing a darn fine job. Let's look at the mystery card. I want a 6 of Cups. If you have a prediction, well, you can put that in the comments down below, as usual. Let's see what we have. The Queen of Cups. Well, I wanted water. We got water and water, double water. This is somebody that is connected with their core, connected with that deepest feeling, that gut feeling, the instinct, the intuition, some deep down in the emotional energy. Not living on the surface of life, not living in the shallow end, but living in the very deep, deep waters. Right? And really it's a card of emotional honesty, radical self-acceptance, radical self-love. That's saying I value myself enough that I'm going to do this, that I'm going to endure this period of time. And I know that, that life is getting better. I know that we're going to reach this doorway and, the adventure can begin. But right now we're trying to stay in touch with the reasons why we're doing this. This is now, it's not just mechanical ritual and routine, but there's a depth of purpose here. There's a feeling, there's a sacredness to these rituals. There's a sacredness. You understand why you're doing these rituals and how it feels and what it means to you. Again, the Queen of Cups kind of looking at the past. So we're understanding how we got here and where we want to go. Okay, but this is, to me, this really does show the self-love and the compassion that we're showing ourselves here. And we love ourselves enough and we value ourselves enough to go through this difficult period so that we can have this wonderful launch. Yeah, I think this is the perfect amount of water card here. I like it. We're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram and some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch the readings on the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. They don't cost you anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.